Hello there, and welcome to episode 7 of Gregkru Maybe Watch Again. We just watched episode 7, Contents Under Pressure. We're officially halfway through the season now.
Oh,
And
are
this
we?
episode originally aired on the 30th of April 2014 and brought in 1.8 million viewers, which is down a tiny bit to last week's episode, but not too much. So, this episode, synopsis from Amazon Prime, is while Clarke and Raven make contact with the Ark, Abby is removed from the council and Jaha reveals that there are not enough dropships for everyone on the Ark. And yes, I did just say dropships and not dropships. Because letters are hard.
And we've been drinking a little bit.
We've been drinking a little bit and munching on Pringles and just having a full-on party, to be honest.
It's been a real
great.
party night. It's been a great night.
We're partying on a Thursday like it's a Friday. It's great.
It's the best. The best time ever.
It really was.
Yeah.
But it wasn't for Finn in that episode.
No. Stinky old Finn can fin off to Finland for all I care.
Finn can go float himself.
He can, absolutely. He's a big floater in a big toilet.
He's a big floater.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so I feel like this episode, it was another one of those episodes where a lot happened, but also not a lot happened.
I just didn't like it that much. I don't know, as compared to the last few episodes, it definitely didn't feel like it was as gripping, I think.
Yeah, it was like the come down and like the knock-on effect of all of the crap that's been happening up until now.
Even though it should be gripping, because what the contents of this episode was quite gripping, at least on Earth, not so much on the space station. I think that was more melodrama, kind of fallout of different situations in previous episodes. But for me, this episode had maybe like 2 or 3 standout scenes, and that was it for me.
Yeah, I agree. What were those scenes for you?
Major number one would be what's
that one?
What's her mum's name again? Oh,
Abby.
Abby being confronted.
Yep.
About, basically her being responsible for killing her husband.
Basically.
Yeah, because I suppose we should explain that, in this episode they gain contact to the space station from Earth.
Yeah.
During this horrific storm on the Earth that's taking place. They say it's a hurricane, so like, what the hell? But yeah, they somehow get contact to the space station, and and so they have this confrontation, which is more towards the end of the episode. But yeah, that scene was it was something, wasn't it?
It was quite powerful.
Yeah,
I feel like we're starting to see Clarke break down a bit.
yeah.
It's all hitting her. She's on the brink of her mental breakdown from all of the stress she's been through in this episode.
I think the position of sort of not ruler, but overseer of things is the princess. It's getting a bit much for Clarke, and I think we definitely saw a breakdown from her with the mother. She got very emotional. She hung up on her mum halfway through the call on the radio. She didn't really I still think we'd do another scene really of it coming up. It was all kind of just thrown at her at once. It was like, she was like, I know what happened and all this, and I know what happened to Dad, and so it all came out, and that was definitely the most powerful scene for me in this episode. The second point would be Jaha's speech to the entire space station, basically when he announces, hey, we made a mistake. If we'd waited, we would have been fine. We didn't, and then Mr. Angry Ginger Man, who's one of the extras, who's just been like, you go, you just killed my wife.
She volunteered to die, mate.
Even though, everyone volunteered, but whatever, Which again is just too stupid, because like everyone volunteered, they had their time with their loved ones. You would have thought everyone would have come to peace with it. And even though I understand that finding out that they died for no reason would upset them, I still feel a bit like, I don't know, there wouldn't be that many people I don't know, just getting as angry
Round
about it.
up. Yeah. Sort of out of nowhere because where were these people when it was happening?
Yeah, exactly, right. Like it felt like everyone was fine with it and up, of piece of it when they had to do the culling, and now suddenly it's like, well, no, what the hell, you lied. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, Jaha gives a speech to everyone that was getting angry about the culling and the fact that there are people alive on Earth, because they found out.
Mhm.
And then Jaha kind of breaks down as well and becomes emotional and explains, my son died, and again
Oh,
that was
yeah.
quite a good scene to see, I
The
think.
outburst. It was we just like everyone breaking down,
We
don't we?
do,
That's
we
our
do. We're
favourite
quite.
scene.
I don't know what that says about us, but we won't. We won't. This is an episode about our psyche and what's wrong with us psychologically. But
We're horrible people.
no, that'll be the next podcast we do, where we break down onto like what's wrong with us.
The
Um,
after show.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then I think the third point would be the sort of scene of it's just basically like I don't know, the general, not so much because I enjoyed it because it was hard to watch, but it's the fact that the torture scene of him,
Mm.
of our grounder, that
Rounder.
the grounder basically gets taken captive. I can't speak. To the 100 on the station that they crashed in. They capture him, they tie him up, they string him up, and basically Finn is poisoned with the knife that he stabbed with, and so in order to fix him, the grounder just happened to have a vials of different things, and one of them assumably is a cure to the poison, and they're trying to torture him to find out which one is the cure. And just in general, that scene was quite well done. It didn't look like they weren't holding back. You saw the pain. You saw the knife go in his hand. They stabbed him in the hand. They whipped him with a seatbelt. They
Mm.
totally effed him up. And as much as like I didn't say I enjoyed that scene, it was just quite a powerful scene. It was well shot.
Yeah.
I think it was well done. Yeah, it was. So yeah, I think that was like, even though it was completely unnecessary, because like I said many times during the episode, I would have just fed him every vial and just hoped for the best because one of them's going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there might have been more poison, but then maybe the antidote would have counteracted it.
Yeah, like he was either if they didn't get the antidote, he was gonna die. If they got it, he was gonna live. So
Yeah,
either way, was it like he was gonna die.
yeah.
So
And in that
they
scene,
should have
even
just
just
risked it.
assuming they just assumed he had an antidote. Like he could have just simply not had one, and then boom. But
It could have just been smelly herbs for all I
yeah,
know.
yeah, exactly. But anyway, that was probably the only three standout points of this episode. And to be honest, the only 3 points worth really, I don't know about you, for me at least, going over again, because I think everything else was just like, nah.
Yeah, I think like briefly, like just brief overview. Finn
Yeah,
was obviously stabbed last episode, and this episode was all about removing a knife and saving his life and whatnot. And basically that was it. But we don't care about Finn, so we're not going to waste our breath talking about him because he
no,
sucks and he's got terrible haircut, horrible snail trail,
yeah,
and he's just a dick cheese, to be honest.
yeah, just stinky dick cheese.
He is stanky. He's stinky.
We hate him,
I hate him.
hate him.
Um, so I'm not going to waste any more breath. Apart from what I will say, final time we mention Finn in this episode, right? Maybe is at the end. Like I'm skipping because I don't care about Finn when he woke up
Yeah, I mean,
and
spoiler alert, he
oh,
lives. He doesn't die.
oh yeah, he's alive. But if you're
Yeah,
listening to this, you should have watched it. So
yeah, well, true.
but yeah, so he wakes up and he's like talking to Clarke, and Clarke is the better woman, I guess, and tells him that Raven needs him and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, she
And then
calls
she
Raven over.
yeah, lies to Raven and says that he was asking for her. No, he wasn't.
No,
He very clearly, if he had to choose, would choose Clarke, is my opinion at
absolutely,
this point.
absolutely.
And
Which I
it
think is
breaks
just
my heart.
terrible. I think it's just so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Freaking love Clarke. I have a
Yeah,
huge bias towards her.
yeah.
But I.
But dance with the one that you came with. You know what I mean? Like you were with her when you left Earth. When you left the space station to go to Earth. You know.
Yeah, as far as like what we've seen of their personalities, Raven is just so precious.
She really
Like,
is.
why would you want to hurt her? Why would
Yeah.
you not want to be with her?
I mean, in the ideal world, he would end up with no one, neither Clarke or Raven, and he would just be alone forever, and we'd be happy.
In the ideal world, Finn would have died in this episode.
True, true, and
Oh, we can all dream.
yeah.
Never mind, it wasn't meant to be.
Because
But
there was this stupid thing where like Clarke was like, "I need him," and I'm like, "What? No, you don't. Like, what has he actually done for you this entire season other than have sex with you? Like, he's not done anything like of actual much use. I mean, he's kind of helped you in certain situations, but I don't know. I'm just like,
if he wasn't there, they still would have done everything they've done.
yeah, it's not. I mean, I'd be a bit more into it if like he'd actually like saved Clark's life or save like a whole bunch of people or like been some sort of heroic human guy like doing crazy stuff, but he's not done anything, and I'm just so baffled as to why Clarke puts him on such a pedestal.
I know, because Bellamy has done more for her than he
Yeah,
has.
I
And he's
know.
meant to be the villain.
I know, and like I don't really know what they're doing with Bellamy because like one minute they're trying to make him out to be an evil guy, and then towards the end they're like kind of on the same page again. It's like every episode they're like, "No, you're wrong. You shouldn't do this. No, I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, I'll go along with it." And then by the end, I'm seeing your point of view, and yeah, fair enough,
Mm.
and whatever. I don't know.
He's a bit of a martyr, isn't he? He's
It's just
like he's
yeah,
doing all the wrong things for the right reason.
yeah,
I guess it's meant to be showing us like the two different ways of which it could be handled. So you could go in all guns blazing like Bellamy and like no
but
rules, whatever
but
the
it feels
hell
like
we want.
but it feels like it always goes in Bellamy's direction, no matter what. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. It just feels like Clarke feels like she should have a say in things, but she never does. Clarke always goes against Bellamy, but then by the end of the episode, Clarke just kind of lets Bellamy do it anyway.
Well, I feel like this episode, Clark gave in very early
Oh
with what
yeah,
Bellamy
I
wanted.
know, I know, I know. And
And,
I was just like, what?
and this
Like,
was another part of her breakdown, I think, where we just saw her
yeah,
like giving up. She's just like,
yeah,
just do whatever needs to be done.
yeah, yeah.
It's it's like, was that part of her like breakdown, or was it part of her her feelings for Finn, or was it a mixture of
I think
both?
it's a mixture of both, but I think it's mainly Finn. She's being very selfish. I think in the
Yeah.
fact that she's thinking of her own needs of like what she really wants
She's
Ben.
thinking with her vagina.
She wants the vagina sex, that's all she really wants.
Dear, dear.
Yeah,
Yes, she does.
yeah,
And I think that sort of showed us this episode showed us two sort of different people's desperation. So we obviously saw Clark's with like, hurt him, go on, do it. I don't care. But she's not going to get her hands dirty for it. She's going to let them do it. And then freaking Raven comes in, like, he's all I have, and freaking
uh,
gets the electric and is like, and starts electrocuting his nip nips.
there's no lips.
His nip nips. So I quite like that scene with Raven getting involved because I feel like we really saw Raven's vulnerability in this.
Yeah. Like it makes more sense for Raven to be, I think, to have like I think what should have happened in this episode is Raven should have been that one to like go along with it, do the stuff, be like, which one's the antidote? And then it should have been Clarke that was still kind of like not really into it.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I have more of a problem with what they did with Clarke in this episode than anyone, I think. Just
Yeah, I
I
agree.
don't know.
It was
Yeah.
very off character for her.
Yeah.
I did like, however, how like apart from that one moment with Raven where she was electrocuting him, I liked how outside of that, like this whole situation rendered her useless. Like she was hesitating on everything. She was like she needed to
Yeah.
be pushed to do things, whereas normally Raven's on it. She can do whatever the hell she wants, whenever the hell she wants. And I quite liked seeing that sort of seeing her caught off guard, I guess,
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
because she comes across like she's this big, strong woman. But she's not a big, strong woman. She's this little, small woman, but
Yeah.
she's super strong. But in this episode, she wasn't. She was the baby. She needed protecting.
This was yeah, definitely a drop in quality in this episode for me. Not not to get too negative, and I think I'm still
Mhm.
absolutely enjoying the series. I still think it's been really on a high the last few episodes. I just think it for me it definitely did kind of drop the ball a bit. Like I wasn't. I don't know. I don't know if it was just. I don't know. I don't know.
I think it was trying to wrap up certain
Yeah.
storylines and
I,
also set up the next lot of
Yeah,
storylines.
because you had this new woman on the space station who's had work done, and I was like, get out of here. And we had like just I didn't care about basically anything happening on the space station. I was very like not really. My brain was not really tuning into that too much. I was like,
Mhm.
I don't know. Apart from like a particular few scenes where like the mum finds out what's going on down on the Earth and certain things like that, most of it I was like not really here for personally. I think that
Yeah.
was pretty weak.
I think the only time it got interesting outside of Jaha's speech was right at the very, very end when it was revealed
Yeah,
that there is
yeah,
not enough
yeah.
dropships.
Like I
But
just don't get what this weird crusade they were going on with the guy in the second in command,
oh, Kane.
Kane. Like because again, like I'm not saying we were supposed to hate Kane, but I certainly don't feel like we were really supposed to care about Kane that much, or at least I don't.
Mhm.
And but they were really felt like they wanted us to because he had this weird like moment where he was like crying and he was like, I don't know who I am anymore, and like
Yeah.
I don't know, I just don't care about Kane.
They're
Like
trying to do a redemption thing for him, aren't they?
yeah,
Like he started off
yeah,
as the bad guy and now it's like he hates himself for the decisions he's made and
yeah,
if he'd
yeah,
just believed Abby it all wouldn't those people would have lived and blah blah
yeah.
blah. And he's like having a conflict with himself and it's I don't mind Kane. He's not currently a person that I really care about, but I don't dislike him. He's all
I
right.
mean, yeah, like I don't hate him, but like I certainly don't care about any major like, emotional scenes with him right now because they haven't really given me much of a reason to.
I think that that's what they're attempting to do, isn't
Yeah,
it? But it's
yeah,
like you made
he's
him out to be such a dickhead
yeah,
early on. It's like
and we
you
know he can be a dickhead, so it's like
mm, it's gonna
yeah,
be hard. It's gonna be
yeah,
hard to change opinions on him, I
it
think.
is.
But who knows? It might happen. He's sort of the Bellamy of the space station, isn't he?
He
He's sort
really
of
is. He really is. Yeah, yeah,
bad guy, but not really a bad guy.
yeah.
Yeah, difficult. But yeah, so there's what 2,200 odd people on the ship. Oh,
Ooh,
2,237. I've got it written down on on the Ark, and only enough dropships for 700 odd people. So
yeah,
that's like what a third
ish, yeah,
ish. Yeah, just
yeah,
under a third.
yeah.
Shit, what are they gonna do?
It's gonna be tough, that's for sure. I mean,
Kill them all.
there's going to be a lot of angry people because again it's just something else where they're like because I mean they made this whole point of like we're not going to lie anymore, we're going to be the honest truth to you.
Are they
So
though?
but yeah, but now they're going to be like, well, only this many people can go. And I mean, unlike the last big thing they announced, I don't think there's going to be people being like, I'll volunteer to stay and die on this space station again.
Mhm.
I mean, if they do, I'll be kind of annoyed because now because they're the flip flopping again, being like 1 minute they're angry and now they're like, no, it's fine. But I don't know.
Do you think they'll like choose people so like the council will get priority seats because they're the council and they're
If you
higher
got a riot on your hands,
authority?
then yeah, they probably will. Otherwise, no. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to choose it. I'm guessing they've got to probably think about it in a much more tactical way of like who's going to be most useful to have on Earth, who has the most to gain by being back on Earth, who can rebuild, who can cultivate, you know,
Yeah.
even going down to like who's going to have like kids and stuff, because you got to reproduce, you got
Mhm.
to populate again, and so there's all that to think about. So they've got to do a lot of thinking and consideration on like what's the best point to go from here, I think.
Yeah, they'll have to pick like a few people from each sector, I guess. Like we know they have sectors like farming
Yeah.
because that's where Monty and his family came from. They're from the and Jasper I think came from farm as well, farm station.
Yeah,
And then you
like
have the politicians and the
exactly.
doctors, and so yeah.
Like I think if you're going down to earth, you've got to have something to offer. You've got to have something you can bring to the table,
Well, I'd be
basically.
screwed.
Oh, yeah, me too. I would absolutely be screwed.
I can play games and watch TV if you want.
Yeah, yeah. We would not be going down to earth, I think. But I mean, that's if you were saying if I was in that position, that's how I'd be doing it. But I've got
Yeah.
a feeling that these guys will probably go down the worst possible path and be like, "We got to keep it a secret," and obviously we're all going to get a space on this. I don't know. It's probably going to end up in complete calamity, and everyone's going to fight for spaces on those chips to get back to Earth.
Mhm.
Even though, by the looks of it, Earth is not going to be much more safe, really, than it is on the
Yeah.
space station.
I think they might have just started a war by taking that grounder in.
Yeah, that's it. They definitely have started. Well, they've definitely started something.
Yeah, I mean there was stuff going on already, but now they I think this has to have a knock-on effect.
Yeah,
Has to.
yeah,
But
absolutely. Yeah.
one of my favorite, actually probably the only part of this episode that I actually enjoyed was all of the Octavia and Grounder scenes.
Yes.
I am loving this chemistry.
Yeah, it is good. It is interesting. I am wondering how this is going to go. They've got a bit of a sort of Beauty and the Beast kind of thing going on, where you've
He
got
loves her. He
he
wants
loves.
to kiss her.
Yeah, they're clearly in love. We found that they had a book. The ground had a book with a drawing of her in it. You know,
Yep.
they've got. I mean, he just wholeheartedly trusts her. I guess it was a sort of saw her at a long distance and fell in love kind of thing.
Yeah, he's been watching her and he must see potential in her. And I feel like this is the perfect this episode. I love this episode just cuz I know like I just cuz I know I just love it. And it was the trust towards the end when Clark was trying to clean him up and he was like not having it. He was
Yeah.
intense and he wasn't enjoying it. And Octavia took over, and as soon as she took over, like his hand relaxed and like he opened his hand up so she could clean it, and I was like, mate, that trust. They haven't
Yeah.
even spoke to each other. Well, she spoke at
Well,
him.
oh, that's another thing we forgot. He spoke in this
He
episode.
did speak
He
it.
said,
He said, "Thank you." That's
"Yeah,
what he said,
he did."
just like that.
Just like that. Was you the actor there? Was you the guy? Was that you? Because you sounded just like him, and I couldn't believe.
I've got him here with me.
Oh, no. Hello, welcome. We've got a special guest this episode. Yeah, we've got the Grounder. How you doing?
He's a man of
Okay,
many words.
he's a man of many words. There we go. Great stuff. Thank you for being on. But no, yeah, that was good. I don't know. Maybe I'm not giving this episode enough credit, but personally, yeah, I don't know.
No, yeah, I just think out of this whole episode, that dynamic was the best part of it, and I feel that's going to be a major storyline going forward. Is
Mm.
he going to talk around other people? Is he even going to talk? Does he know English, or does he just know parts of English? Because he said it very broken,
He did, yeah.
or was he just in pain? Like who knows?
We
But
don't know. We don't know yet. We will soon find out.
we'll find out. But yeah, he trusts her, and he very clearly cares about her so much because and she knows as well.
Yeah.
Because the whole way they got the antidote for Finn's I said his name poison was she injured herself with the poisoned knife, and
Yes.
in knowing that he would then point out which one was the antidote, and it worked.
Yeah.
He didn't even hesitate. He straight
No.
away was like
Yeah.
nudging towards the one it was.
He
Although
did.
they never gave Octavia that antidote, so let's
No. Let's just assume that they did eventually, but yeah.
hope for the best.
Yeah. Exactly.
We can't lose the one good character.
No.
I feel like Octavia sort of took Clark's place in this episode a bit with like her thinking, her logical thinking of like we can't do this, it's going to start a war, and
Yeah.
she was the sensible one,
Definitely. Yeah.
which is ironic because she's the baby.
She is the yeah. It's weird to see that. Yeah, we've only really got Octavia to be the one to kind of be the voice of reason in this episode, but That's all we've got.
Uh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
I wonder what it could mean. I
Well,
wonder.
what are we giving this one out of 10?
6, in all honesty.
Yeah, I'm thinking I exactly what I was thinking. 6 out of 10 for me. Definitely.
It wasn't bad enough to
No.
be lower than 6. It just that we've had such a good bunch of
Yeah.
episodes
Yeah.
that this one if it had if we'd have had slower episodes before this episode probably would have been great. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's following on from episodes like what you said before that feel like they could have been finale episodes, and then there's
Yeah.
this, which is like
I mean,
first episode of season 2.
yeah. I mean, not every episode's going to be a banger, and some of them are going to be weaker than others, and that is just the sort of shifting of a show, right? Really. So yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah.
who I did miss this episode?
Who?
I missed Monty.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen Monty in a while, have we?
No, they mentioned and Jasper. They mentioned that Monty and Jasper weren't back yet, and I don't know if I'm having a brain fart, but I don't remember where they went.
Because didn't Jasper go out with them to look to look? I don't know. Yeah.
I guess maybe they might have mentioned somewhere and I just didn't pay attention that they've gone out like looking for resources. But there's a hurricane out there.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
they're safe.
I hope so. I mean, I hope to God we'll find out by the next episode. Speaking of which, what is the next episode called?
The next episode is called Day Trip.
Ooh.
And I feel like that gives away a lot, but also absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean that could be a lot of things. That could generally be a lot of things. Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
it gives away obviously maybe that maybe people go out for the day, like venture out of the camp maybe.
Yeah.
But also doesn't really help with specifics like what is
Yeah.
this what story wise, who is going out, why are they going out, like
Yeah. It's quite ambiguous. It could be taken in any sort of way. Yeah.
same as this episode, to be
Yeah.
fair. I know last
Yeah.
week we were like heard contents under pressure and we're like,
Yeah.
what's that mean?
What does that mean? What is that? What is all
I
that
still
about?
don't quite get what it means, having
No,
just
neither do
watched
I.
the
Yeah,
episode.
even I'm still
Like,
a bit clueless at that. Yeah.
it's the contents that is throwing me off. Like, there was a
Yeah.
lot of pressure. Maybe it was like, say, Finn, say, say Finn, like under pressure, or say Finn is like, but, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe they're slacking a bit on naming their episodes as well at the moment.
Yeah, just maybe they're on a little. Yeah, maybe they aren't. Yeah. Yeah.
But another interesting fact about this episode,
Yes.
this is the second of the 3 episodes that I mentioned early on the second episode, I think, where no one has died. So there is only
Oh yeah.
one more episode in the entire show where no one dies.
Wow, that is crazy.
The first
Yeah.
2 episodes are in the first 7 episodes.
So we're in for one more episode where no one dies. That's interesting.
And I
Maybe,
think
maybe that's why this one didn't feel as interesting because no one died in this one. There
that's
was no
it.
death.
There's
Yeah.
no well, there was
Yeah.
violence, but no death.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure the other episode might be in season 7, which is the last season.
Yeah.
So from now until that episode, there is nothing but death.
Nothing but death, guys.
Nothing but death.
Woo! Well, I feel like that means I'm in for a doozy of a next episode. Maybe.
I'm trying to think. Like, I know what is left in this season, and we're halfway through, and I can't think of how they're gonna. This is gonna sound really bad. How they're gonna drag it out for several more episodes.
It does feel like that because a lot of things are coming to pass. Like a lot of plot points are coming to an end in a way. So yeah,
Yeah, it feels like they're setting up for season 2, maybe. But
yeah.
I also know that season 2 is nothing like season 1, so
Yes, you said
uh,
this. Yeah, so I'm interested.
season 2's amazing. It's so
Ah,
good.
so good. Yes, Queen.
I think we're gonna see a lot more of the grounders coming up. Is what I'm predicting. We're gonna see more
Yeah,
than just the one we have.
yeah. I agree with you there. I absolutely agree. I think we'd do a Grounders themed episode. Yeah,
I hope we do.
I hope we get
I
it.
just want a grounder episode. I'm bored of these characters.
Yeah, give us something
Give,
new. Give us
give
some
me
excitement.
something new. Give us some good-looking people with war paint
Mm,
and
hell yeah.
cool weapons and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, we need it.
But I feel like there's not much else to say on this episode. Like
No,
this is a shorter episode,
this is
guys.
this is what I mean. Not,
Apologies.
I mean, this is a bit of a stark difference to last week's. I'm pretty sure last week's we almost hit an hour or over an hour. I feel like,
Yeah,
or close to an hour.
we're making up for going over last time by doing less this time.
This one, yeah. I mean, even when we were just getting ready, I was like, I don't really know what I'm going to say about this episode. There was just nothing that particularly noteworthy. Like normally we would sit here, we would dot by dot like go through the beats of an episode and
hmm
kind of in depthly go into it, but this is nothing
There,
worth it going into really. Like,
there are a few things watching this back and knowing what happens that I wish I could talk about. That
yeah,
like knowing,
yeah,
but obviously that spoils it, and when we get to that point in the show, then I'll be able to be like, okay, remember in that episode when this happened, that's what, like in my head, like I'm putting things together, like, oh my god, the foreshadowment of what's to come, and you
yeah,
have no idea about it. There's a few moments like that in this episode, which for me make it maybe that little bit better than what it was for you. But
yeah.
overall, yeah, it was a very slow episode. Sorry, guys. So it was a
Sorry, guys.
disappointing one.
My bad.
Hopefully the our reaction to it will make you enjoy it. I'm gonna sneeze. Yeah.
Woo!
That was the most exciting part of this episode.
Bless you, madam. Yes.
Oh, thank you very much.
No worries. No worries. I think we had more fun watching it and prattling about than we did actually. Like, you know.
Yeah, we got quite depressed talking about it.
Yeah. No, well, no, I don't know.
Wouldn't go that far.
We had a bit of a blast partying on it, like no one was watching, kind of during the
We
episode.
did. We had sunglasses, we had pipes, we had drink, we had crisps. It was great. We
Yeah,
were
and
living
if
our
you want to
best life.
see that, what could they do about that, Scobes?
They can subscribe to kofi.com/scobes, and it's only £3 a month, and you can get the reaction video each episode,
That's
well, as long as you're
pretty damn good.
subscribed.
That's like a Twitch subscription plus videos of Scobes doing funny things in sunglasses.
Exactly. And
So,
I'd say that's worth it because also half of that will go towards charity. And
boom.
if you don't give to charity, then
What are you doing?
yeah, what you doing with your life, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Not to plug or anything, but the
I
other
mean,
the other half go towards me
yeah. I mean,
and improving.
I heard the famous actor Owen Wilson even gave a bit to your charity.
The famous actor Owen Wilson
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So you got those. If you got those kind of people donating to that cause, then why can't you? Right? Like that's what was.
exactly.
I love how this this podcast is just turned into a plug for you.
No. Well, it
Wow,
all goes towards the
it
podcast as
does.
well. Like
It
if you
does.
subscribe to the Kofi,
Yeah.
like once I've bought this new mic, like can you hear how bad this mic is? That's me hitting my mic to make it sound really bad. But I could replace it and get a good one, you know?
That's it.
And then like if like you needed something, then we could put it towards that and improve
Yeah.
that, and it was like
I could use a new
it's
costume to wear.
exactly, see, it's not all going towards me, it goes towards famous actor Owen Wilson
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Exactly. There you go. There you go. The funding
But
of Cars 4. Yeah, it's coming.
but hopefully next episode will be better.
Yeah, hopefully, absolutely. I'm sure it will be. I'm sure we'll have it all in for a good one next episode because we're already
100%.
promised some crazy stuff from the space station with the lack of ships and shuttles to get to Earth. I
hmm
think there's going to be some fallout from what Clarke did to Finn, and well, sorry, not to Finn, but what Clarke allowed to happen to save Finn,
Yeah,
and I think the main crux is what they're going to do with the grounder, and I think that all should make up realistically for a pretty stocked episode of drama and nail
of
biting goodness.
goodness.
Yeah, so
Yes. Well, we will find out next week
Yes.
on Gregkru. I'm joking.
Huzzah! Yeah.
Ah!
Ha-ha.
But until then, remember life is about more than just surviving.
And may we meet again.